He's running from the scene of the crime.
Hot mics. Let's see if we can find it.
Can't find it.
Yeah, but I ain't really into that. I don't like people who don't understand pod and like don't ask me about nothing about that happened on the podcast. Don't ever ask me.
Man, I used to like. I had a couple that just didn't understand that shit. Used to like fucking.
It's like but you said no. We're having a conversation about a conversation, bro. It's like if you don't understand that, then I can't explain it to you.
You see it?
Yeah, I got it now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I still don't see it.
It took me a minute, but I got there.
What y'all looking for?
The stream, the live
The
stream.
live stream.
There we go. I just popped up for me.
That's the most. That's the. You be surprised the amount of people who don't understand like sarcasm or hyperbole or just creative conversation. They just so literal.
I feel like we struck a nerve with you early, Black.
It's annoying. It's annoying, man. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
I hate having to explain something that's obviously.
But you have to understand how stupid the average person is.
That's true. I think that's what I'm understand. I think the internet magnifies how stupid people are.
Yeah. There's just a lot of people that are like virtually incompetent in every aspect of life.
But you know, what I did struggle with is like, okay, because what I would say is, if you don't understand this, then just unfollow me from everything. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't have to be like that. But when that kind of became my sweet spot, because then it's like, you know, I can kind of just say whatever I want to say.
You get the real me, baby.
Yeah.
No, it's like
not my character on the podcast.
Especially when I was still tricking or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then.
So you're not tricking anymore?
No.
You're retired?
Retired.
What you got? You got a main woman now?
I'm just retired, man.
Got to get old.
Do you think Bubba's jersey should go in the rafters?
Yeah. He did a lot of wild questionable stuff.
All right.
He did.
I don't know. If you're putting his up there, we got to get Dwight Howard's up there too.
No, you ain't doing no Dwight. How you doing no Dwight
No,
Howard?
but they are
stuff.
connected.
I do wonder though, like how guys do, like, you know, because I do see guys who get into these relationships and they become like really lovey-dovey, and on the outside it seems like they would be faithful and things like that. But prior to that, and for a long time, you know, those guys were like really hitting the streets hard, and I do wonder like how do they make that transition?
Yeah, how do you make the transition?
It seems like a tough transition to make. And I get the easy answer is, well, if I find the one, and this and that.
Yeah, but it ain't about finding the one. It's about kind of, not to sound cheesy, but it's about kind of finding yourself.
Finding peace.
Because we all do it for different reasons. Like every guy who had women or be around or like to chase women, they do it for their own reason. Mm-hmm. Some of it is just I just like to fuck, and some of them I have a fear of commitment. Or it's like all kind of like psychological shit, or just like trauma or whatever the fuck.
Maybe you're bored,
or you're bored. So it's not like you found the right woman. You might have always wanted to be with a woman and long term and settle down, but you haven't found a woman who you meet at eye level as far as like intellectually or just like culturally or just what you want in a woman. You know what I mean? So it's not even about the right woman. It's just you just fucking until somebody come that you decide that you want to be with. And then sometimes people just do it because they think that's the next thing to do. I've been with this girl long enough, so I might as well marry her. I might as well be with her.
And that's when it doesn't work.
Right. But I think all of these mental states are temporary.
Of course, that's why a lot of like marriages and stuff and relationships don't work, because they base it on transitory things like feelings and like love and I like you at this moment, so let's be together forever. That's not how marriage works. It's not. If you build it on something transitory or something, if you build it like on sand, it's gonna wash away. But that's why you should get married when you have like assets or you have a goal in mind. Like we want to have children, to raise children.
What type of assets are we talking about?
I mean, now you asking the right questions. I don't feel like poor people should get married. I think people should.
It's only for the wealthy.
I think it's for people who got something to lose.
Why though?
Because it's literally you literally making a binding contract with the government and somebody else. Like you basically two corporations joining.
But if you have more to lose, that makes less sense to do.
But if you have nothing to lose, it's hard to get out of that shit. like if you some people can't afford to get divorced.
Fair enough.
I like that. Let's start the show off there.
Just tell the next one you don't have enough assets for me to marry.
But you got enough ass, but not enough assets.
Yeah.
I like that shit. Not again. Please. No more chicken pasta on my motherfucking plate. It ain't that good and I'm tired of lying, telling you that I already ate. Another lie for no reason when it's already too much shit on my plate. I can't believe out of us two, it's you who can't handle they weight. I handle the bills, you handle the crib, 3 nights out the week, we on dates. Show some initiative, all them racks you watch me put in that safe. All them bags I put in your claws in exchange for a medium steak. I don't deserve to watch chicken swim and pasta on my motherfucking plate. Breakfast meetings in the morning with Lauren, she'll be over at 8. Stuffed croissants and fresh squeezed orange juice, she'll say it went great. I'm a young king, I don't deserve to be treated like no Roy, no Nate. Filet mignon and lamb chops on toasted bread, butter fillet. 4 nights a week we eating pasta, I wonder what your mama would say. Them red bottoms and red wine costing me way more than I pay. For chicken, pasta, and red wine. Send across from you at the dinner table, you and your feelings every time. Another night and you ain't willing to be my little snack before bedtime. Spaghetti sauce and blood, I can see tomorrow's headlines. About shit some chick had to say. Got you way bent out of shape. Probably why you ain't make me no cake. Probably why you ain't fix me no plate. Probably why you ain't text my phone and tell me make it right back on safe. Probably why that pasta belly touching your fork even though you say that you straight. Even though I know you ain't straight. Eating all that pasta ain't got you gaining no weight. Ain't had no meal worth talking about since your mama came to my place. Every night it's either Alfredo pasta or a different name in my face. Tell me what I do so bad to make you open the freezer and give me pasta out of bag. Straight into the frying pan, no seasoning on it, this is ass. Soon as you go to sleep, I call mama and we gon' laugh. Hard to get saucy in front of all that Alfredo and Prego. Blueberry muffins, Burberry shorts to the place I may go. Came from the projects, I grew up on a bag of chips and a Fago. I deserve steak and lobster 20 nights if I say so. My dog say it's gon' break us the moment we gotta lay low. At the crib, and we been laying low. Now I'm texting your phone like maybe we should just take it slow. Still got half on the rent, but maybe one of us gotta go. This a problem we're solving, a solution one of us gotta know. No more pasta, Alfredo. Panini with the Prego. I deserve lobster bit and bagels. Waffles my ego. Please don't be no a-hole and serve me pasta. I deserve steak and lobster, yeah.
Welcome back. You guys are back on the Bench Podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We have Just Black Davis in the building today. What's going on, Black?
Hello there. What's going on, man?
All right.
Is that the first time we ever used his last name on the show?
Yeah, I think so, man.
We're breaking new ground today.
Good thing ain't got no warrants.
Special occasion.
What y'all got on the? Let me. I seen the template a little bit.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about some women's basketball today with the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese things. Houston Texans made a huge trade today, getting C.J. Stroud some extra receiver help with Stefon Diggs from the Bills. You got Diddy has one celebrity in his corner. We'll talk about that.
There's one guy you want in your corner.
LeBron James, they're both in the news as always. And we'll get going on those topics, man, and a lot more, man. I have my top 5 shows I'm watching now that I think are shows you should be watching if you're not. Okay.
What's the over-under on shows that I'll be personally familiar with?
1.
Okay. You always got to do a half, though. Like, do 1.5. Right?
Do 1.5.
I like the bet's 1. I don't like the push.
1.5.
All right.
1.5.
Sounds good.
There you go. That's right. Somebody's been paying attention to the gambling world. Before we get started with all this heavy sports stuff, which was good, we had the marriage, dating, relationship thing early on. Hopefully somebody learned something about that. I was thinking earlier today, and it was taking a dark turn. Maybe it was because of the rain, man. All this rain we had today.
Put you in a somber mood?
Yeah, somewhat. But I was thinking about, like, somebody's taking pictures of us. That's what's up. I was thinking about, or maybe he's only taking pictures of the mic. I don't know. The older I get, the less I think about death. For real. Like when I was a jit, man, that shit used to like really bother me. And I remember like it used to really bother me while we used to think about death all the time. And what's going to happen? And what about this? What about that? And I think maybe that kind of spurred my little religion thing there for a while, because, you know, growing up in our community, it's like, yeah, well, if you do this, do that, you're going to hell, and then you're going to burn forever. And it's like, well, I'd better do things the right way. And then you get older and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to smoke weed and smash a bunch of chicks, but I'm going to just ask for forgiveness after, and then you learn whatever later on. But anyway, it's like, you know.
So you were, like, when you're a jit, you're worried about your death?
Yeah, running about being afraid to die, wondering what's going to happen after I die, being completely nervous. Not, you know, anytime we're driving on the highway, that's why it took me so long to get on my first plane, all that stuff, man. And you know, I remember when I asked my mom one time, it's like, you know, I'm afraid to die. What's going to happen? Are we going to die? And this is that. I remember she just said, well, you know, you're going to live forever. Don't worry about that. I don't know if I would explain it that way to my kids, but in a sense, there is some truth to that, because if you do make a big enough impact with others and even within your family, you could essentially live forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Einstein is still alive. You know what I mean? People still talk about him and reference him and play his videos or whatever the case may be. Not videos, but you know what I mean. His theories, talk about his theories.
That almost slipped past me. It's fun. That's interesting, because when I was a kid, I thought more about, like, what if my parents died? Mm-hmm. Like, I at the age, like, when I'm too young to do anything, like, or take care of myself, I was always fixated on, I'm like, well, man, if they died, like, what would happen to me? What would happen to my sisters? What would we do? And all that. But not so much my own personal death. When that hit me was when I became a father. Then I started to think a lot about my death, in the sense of, like, I was just like, you know, obviously I felt like, man, I got to be around here for at least 18 years. Got to figure this out. And so, like, when I would do things like fly, maybe a little bit more nervous than I ever was, and just any sort of, like, thing that would fall into, like, a riskier category, it was way more prevalent in my thoughts than they had ever been before.
You guys are both weird. You guys it's normally the other way around. You start thinking about death the older you get. When I was a kid, I didn't think about death at all.
Yeah.
When I started thinking about death, I think I was like 13 or 14. I had a friend that died. He was 14. Of kind of like a freak accident, like kind of like natural causes in a way. But even then, I wasn't like I'm going to die. I don't want to fly. Now I'm older. I think about, like, dying and what happens next and that kind of stuff. But when I was a kid, I thought that I'd live forever. We jumping off the roof and shit. We had no regard for death at all.
But see, that's another thing too, because as you age, whatever, from adolescence to whatever to younger 20s, 30s, at each grouping, you either hear of or know someone that's dying that's your age. You know what I mean? And it does. You may not, you know, whatever. You may not labor on it for a long time, but it has to cross your mind. Like, damn, this mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went to school together, or I saw this motherfucker on the bus. You know what I mean? A week ago or so. I don't know. I do think about that as well from time to time, but I just don't think about it. I don't have any kids, so that is a factor. That's definitely a factor. What you guys said there, so yeah.
But my kids are older now, and so it's back to the point where I don't worry about it. It's not like, you know, I've had a good run, and if it happens, it happens.
And when I was, especially when I was younger, even if somebody died, I never looked at it like that could be me. It's just like, oh, damn, he died. It's like it's actually the opposite, where I feel like, oh, that's not gonna happen to me, to the point where I didn't even think about it at the time. Just like, damn, he died. That's unfortunate. Like, you know what I mean?
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
It is. It is, though, man. It is.
I don't know.
I just thought that was kind of interesting there.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast of Bump and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. On to I guess you could say one of the biggest news of the day, man. is Houston, Texas. Houston Texans making a big trade for Stefon Diggs from the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about the Bills side on the back end of this. Just speaking of the Houston Texans, they're doing what Pickett and I talk about all the time. You have a quarterback on a rookie deal. Go ahead, load him up, and make a run for it. Plenty of quarterbacks, even in recent memory, have been in the same predicament and have made big runs or made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. Even a quarterback that's in the news now, always for the wrong reasons, Russell Wilson. If you remember when he was on his rookie deal, that's when the Seahawks were the strongest and they were making this, the Super Bowl runs and things like that. And then when they had to pay him, they had to start letting all these guys go. So you got to do it now.
Yeah.
And man, they have a loaded team over there now because you remember they made the trade for or signed the Bengals Joe Mixon. Okay, so they got him over there in the backfield. They already had two young studs at receivers anyhow with Tank and the other guy. Their deep threat, and then you also have two tight ends who are really good, and and the defense is really good as well. What you think? Where does this put the Texans? Did this surprise you at all?
I was surprised. I didn't have any. I didn't hear anything that the Bills were looking to move Diggs or anything specific recently. So it did catch me off guard when I saw it. But I'll applaud the Texans. This is a great move. Following the game plan, load up your roster while you can financially do so, and accelerate your timetable and make a run.
But there was noise that Diggs wanted to be moved.
Big facts, yeah.
So it wasn't surprising that he got moved. Surprising that. Well, not even surprising that the Texans took a swing at it is because I thought that he wanted to be moved too. I think Josh Allen gets like this praise that I don't understand. I don't understand the Josh Allen praise.
Yeah, and this leaves the Bills in a unfavorable. They've lost four captains, 4 of 6 captains from last season, and maybe 1 or 2 more even.
And Gabe Davis and other receivers gone.
Yeah, lost a couple guys on defense, couple of premier defenders.
Well, you talk about the Josh Allen thing, and this reflects poorly on Josh Allen. Now we knew going into last year there was some tension specifically with Diggs. I wasn't aware necessarily of any tension with Gabe Davis, but if you're the Bills, and you might entertain trade offers for Diggs because he's disgruntled. How and why do you let Gabe Davis go in the same off-season cycle? That just doesn't make sense. And so, clearly this is not a statement that people are bending over backwards to play football with Josh Allen.
Right.
And that's not a good sign because Buffalo, again, it's one of those northern hellholes. You're not going to draw a lot of free agents to go to play with the Bills and Josh Allen, and you've lost 2 guys that have a lot of talent, and really a guy that's been probably your best player.
Yeah, so they've lost 2 starting linebackers, two players in there, 2 starters in their defensive backfield, and their 2 starting receivers and their starting center. All in this offseason.
7 starters.
Yeah, but
have they signed anybody?
But a part of the reason why they had to dump those guys is because they basically did what the Texans are doing now, where they basically went all in on Josh Allen, and now they don't have the money.
Paying
so he had to cash that in last year or the year before,
and he did not.
He didn't, which I don't know why they thought he would.
Well, I do not think he did not live up to the billing. They were underwhelming and all of that. Every word, every adjective you can use, right? But you have to do it. Josh Allen was good enough to where you had to load that team up, make those moves, make those sacrifices, and see where it went. And I was reading something earlier where they was like the biggest win that the Buffalo Bills had in this era was the loss to Kansas City.
Yeah, they say that.
But the epic game.
The epic game. Yeah, that was their biggest win. It was a loss, and that was it. Pretty much everything else it's been underwhelming from the Bills standpoint. But you do it all over again tomorrow. You just have to. That's what you have to do.
And I get that, but I just feel like the media built up Josh Allen. Because
calling him and Mahomes.
Because it never was close. Like so that was the weirdest thing, and they kind of set him up for failure because you comparing them to who will be the greatest quarterback of this generation, and you're saying that he's the second greatest of that generation. Not only so when you say stuff like he's number 2 to Mahomes, right. You're not only saying that he's the second best of the generation, you're saying that he's an all-time second. And he's not. No. I really think C.J. Stroud is who they think he is.
We'll see. I mean, we can't rush to judgment on any of these things.
True.
My thing, I mean, Josh Allen came into the draft as kind of like a raw prospect with a lot of physical tools. And he made some progress early, while, to be fair, a lot of the rest of that draft class kind of shit the bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he was a little bit the last man standing. And, that got people excited. I mean, again, before he got to Buffalo, they're pretty crap.
Yeah.
And since he's been there, they haven't won a title, but they've been a playoff team, a contending team. And I do think, personally, the hype train really caught fire with that Kansas City game. Yeah. And, I watched that game. He looked amazing. And, when you look at players and they give you great performance, you always feel like with a little bit more time, he's going to just get better and better and better. That hasn't been the case.
Right. Yeah.
That's the reality. And that's why when we talk about C.J. Stroud, I'm urging caution.
Right.
He had a fantastic rookie year. Let's see if he continues to build the level of his play without any regression. And the Texans, to their credit, they're giving him all the tools. They're taking away, pretty much any excuse he's going to have not to perform at a very high level, and it's on him.
Yeah, I don't really evaluate quarterbacks until they get that first paycheck, because so many of them have succeeded with this model to where it's almost as if you do not succeed with this model, something is wrong with you.
Well, I won't say it's so many.
It is.
It's kind of the Mahomes effect, because Mahomes has had unprecedented success.
Take Mahomes out of
it. But that's why people are judging everybody on such a curve, because Mahomes came out so fast. Mahomes is all-time great if he never throws another touchdown.
Yeah.
So now his contemporaries, they have to elevate them so high for it to even be worth the conversation.
Well, a couple things I'll address on that. I think, and this is a point, a drum Bubba's been banging for a while, but you go back to like Colin Kaepernick in San Francisco, Russell Wilson in Seattle, and these really predate Mahomes.
Joe Burrow.
And Joe Burrow's a little after that.
Yeah.
But that's where we saw like a consistent trend that if you have a talented quarterback on a rookie deal and your team does a good job of building the roster around you,
right.
And we could even put Jalen Hurts in that category with the Super Bowl run, because they were able to go out and get A.J. Brown, get some other pieces.
Right.
And they did that. And so there's definitely a thing in football, rookie contract, build your roster, and you can contend. Now, the guy can't be crap. He's got to be a player.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
But, the Mahomes thing, and in my view, and I think we talked about this during the year, Mahomes is now at a level, and he's dominated anybody who's a contemporary. The only Mahomes discussion is chasing the Brady accomplishments.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's his only pair. He's where LeBron is, where the only guy you compare him to is Jordan, and that is what it is. And he continues to stay healthy and stack numbers. You're going to have a thing where people are just going to, hey, this is the best guy that's already played. That's already started. I mean, there's people you can't convince that Pat Mahomes is not the best quarterback to ever live. And I'm with that. I'm okay with that. He does not have a contemporary.
And that's a part of the reason why they pumped up Josh Allen. They'll pump up C.J. Stroud because the only way that he will have, the only people who will win Super Bowls under this Mahomes reign will be guys who are on their rookie deals. It will be guys where they built the team around them. Like C.J. Stroud, in the next few years, if he continues the upward trajectory, he'll win the Super Bowl just because they put all the pieces in place. I don't think Josh Allen's that guy who will do that. I think Joe Burrow may have a chance, but other than that, anybody else after their rookie deal who's got paid, the Dax and I guess Russell's out of that now, but even though he'll get a starting job for a while.
What do you feel after this move here? Where does this put Lamar at now?
Lamar's gonna fizzle because he's going to have maybe a couple more years of just fantastic dynamic play, but he's not gonna win nothing. He's gonna be Michael Vick. He's gonna be Kaepernick at a greater extent, or Cam Newton at a greater extent, where he's just a dynamic player, and a part of him being so dynamic makes him hard to win because a lot of the magic is he has to do it himself, and you can't win doing it yourself. I haven't seen the guy.
What's your take on that? And that's not a bad take at all. What you just said there, that's fair.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
Lamar has hit a hurdle he can't get over in his career right now, and unless he breaks over that hurdle and wins something, he's just going to be this guy who's a brilliant individual performer that never got it done. That's going to be his career. Now, competitively, right now, not the worst thing in the world to be a little bit under the radar, which I think he's back in.
Right.
He lost the Chiefs game. Now you've got the CJ Stroud hype and this and that. And we watched that game together, I think. And I said, like, for CJ Stroud, when they played the Ravens, this is a big game. I mean, if he could have beat Lamar in that moment, it would have even pushed him further. But I think right now, Pat's untouchable. CJ Stroud, with these moves, you're looking at him probably being the next guy in the AFC over Lamar and the Ravens. And so Lamar and the Ravens, I think the target's off you a little bit. Maybe the talking points will be elsewhere. And if you just go try and do it, the hurdle's still there. It ain't gone.
Taking the hype out of it, which I know is hard to do, is there another quarterback you would take over CJ Stroud, outside of CJ Stroud, outside of Pat Mahomes, obviously? Is there another quarterback you're 100% like, yeah, I'll take that. I'm taking this guy?
Not anybody that got paid already. Everybody that got paid, I think that's where they are. Like, because in order to get paid, you have to take money that would have been used for a dynamic receiver or a dynamic running back, or so these guys who are getting $60 million a year, I think those guys are kind of set where they are. A couple of them may eke out a Super Bowl, one or two, but for the most part, I think Stroud has the best chance. I think Joe Burrow has the best chance if he can stay healthy. But other than those two, I don't see anybody who hasn't got paid. I mean, who has got paid?
I don't really put it so much. I mean, I get the argument that we're making with getting paid affects your roster, and that's a real thing. But just taking it in a vacuum, who do I take over him? Burrow's the only one right now that kind of I'm thinking about, and I'm not sold on it. But that's
probably only because of health, right? I mean,
because of health.
Well, health has a big place.
It's a concern. He was not healthy, and he's really had 2 seasons now in his career when he hasn't been healthy. And so, but I also look at it like this: the reality is, like, CJ Stroud, he's kind of like a blank canvas. There's no knocks on him. He played 1 year
because it's so early. Yeah,
we don't know yet. Joe Burrow's given us this little red flag with health. Josh Allen gives us this inconsistent performance and untimely turnover. Lamar just can't get it done in the playoffs. So these other guys, there's enough history. Dak, there's enough data points to say that here's where this guy's limitations are, and just where we are with Stroud, it's too early to tell.
Yeah,
he may have some very real limitations that reveal themselves. He may not.
Right.
But we don't know as we sit here now.
Right.
But credit to the Texans. They're being bold while they can and giving this guy every opportunity.
All right. The last thing I'll say on this, that's another reason why I'm so excited for Caleb, because he's coming in to like a somewhat of a loaded, at least offense. The defense has some moves to make. But he's coming into a team that has been making offseason moves to bolster. That doesn't really happen as often. Normally the team will get the quarterback in, see how he does, and then load him up in year 2 or 3. He's going to come into that in Chicago, but that also may add to the pressure. I'm coming down. I've been like the top guy for Caleb. I'm coming down a little bit just because of the little antics he does. It's not a problem. Like,
it is. Ain't no crying in football.
But like,
everybody knows that.
I mean, like, the painting of the fingernails and all of this and that, and he's continuing to do. He was just at a big game where he had his thing and all of that. And it's not like if whatever you are. But it's just like you're going to be on fucking every camera. It's like you're doing it for attention. You're doing it on purpose now.
Yeah.
To a point. And it's like, well, you know, you don't want to get to a point where you get to the NFL and that's the story instead of.
You don't want to make a distraction out of things that don't matter.
That don't, yeah.
I mean, it's the LeBron thing. You keep the main thing the main thing. And I think that there's a real thing to that. And I hope he's wise enough to kind of just realize I'm stepping into a big situation. This is my career here, and I don't need to make a story out of things that really aren't important. And if you really look at, I mean, Mahomes does a very great job of that.
Oh yeah.
Tom Brady did a great job of that.
For what it is, even guys who haven't really won yet, Jalen does a great job of that. There's other guys.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that's like quarterback of a franchise it's a different situation. Yeah. And you've got to live up to it. You got to be that guy. But my biggest concern about Caleb, honestly, is who's going to really be coaching him. Is he going to have good coaching, innovative offensive mind to really get the best out of him? Yeah. Because I think in a lot of circumstances, quarterbacks' fortunes are defined by the coaches they have and the opportunities and learning that they have early in their career. And I just hope the Bears haven't done a good job with that.
Yeah, so that they have a history of, I mean, the quarterback they just shipped out, they failed him.
Yeah.
So I don't see it being anything different.
And who haven't they failed? I mean, like right. you go. I mean, what's the last great quarterback of the Bears? Jim McMahon in the '80s? like seriously, yeah. Like they just and I know there's been a bunch of different coaches in that window of time, but this is not an organization that's done a good job developing quarterbacks, and I don't think anybody on that offensive staff or the head guy is particularly talented in that regard.
No, you can't get around that.
And I felt like, when we were hearing that Caleb had reservations about Chicago and the Bears, to me, that was the biggest reason why. Like, when I looked at the situation, I don't want to go to a place where they don't really coach up quarterbacks and have a good grasp of offensive football. Yeah. That's going to potentially harm my development.
Yeah. All right, before we move on here, Kobe is saying Mahomes and everybody else. Lamar is better than Vic. Cap and Cam went to a Super Bowl, no issues there. He needs to win a playoff game.
What does that even mean? I mean, first of all, I said Vic 2.0, which would mean that he's better than Vic.
Yeah.
And Cam went to Super Bowl, and then we never heard from him again. Kaepernick is somewhere marching. Like these are not good examples. You're just saying things.
Let's move along here to some women's basketball, man.
Oh, y'all pretend like y'all watch women. Okay, I see what y'all doing. Okay.
No, don't get Pink started.
Talk more about women's basketball than I have in the other 52 years.
I see we're in that space now where everybody is like so into women's basketball.
I all of the fake women's basketball experts on my Facebook timeline, I am fucking
is annoying. Like
they're out in abundance, man.
What's the
games going on, and they're like, I don't understand this substitution pattern. Like, what are they doing?
Like, cut it out, man.
Come on, you watched a half a game.
What's the coach of the LSU? The coach of LSU. They show like her highlights when she was in the Final Four.
Oh, yikes!
The highlights look like today. There's been no advancement at all. And then people was like, oh yeah, there is an advancement. You don't know what you're talking. It looks exactly the same.
And guess what? They weren't really highlights.
Yeah, they weren't. It was just we gotta.
I will tell you this though, as far as substitution patterns, they had to take that white girl off of Caitlin.
Yeah, but then
she was getting. I don't care what you have to.
They were saying you put Flage on her, but Flage is the only person who's giving you points, so it would have been hard.
Let her die on offense. Caitlin is the only. She's like controlling the entire game, controlling the entire offense. You have to put a better athlete on her. That girl is 6 inches shorter.
Yeah,
she can't outrun anybody on the court. She was sick for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah,
she was playing horrible, and she cannot move.
Yeah, she was torturing her.
Even if you don't like a one-on-one matchup, like you could trap her high.
Yeah, it's other things the coach could have employed,
like the Warriors do to Dame. But yeah, I don't know.
Dame has never had that answer to the test.
He's
the
literally
trap.
failed every time. He's literally,
He hates when they trap.
just,
I'm
surprised he's not the guy that complained about getting doubled in pickup.
Oh yeah. Who was that? Booker. Yeah,
Book.
that was Booker. So now you have a lot of women's basketball analysts on Facebook now, and they're into it, and that's a part of the. So we understand. I think all three of us are in agreement here, and it may ruffle feathers, but the women's basketball product is not that good.
It's not a good product.
It's not a good product, but they're destroying it in views and up to where this last game got 12.3 million views. I'm just quickly here, people on the screen can see, but the last game between Iowa and LSU, okay, had more views than any women's college basketball game ever, more than the 2023 NBA Finals, more than the World Series, more than, we're getting to college football now, more than the Orange Bowl, Big Ten Championship, ACC Championship, Thursday Night Football, which, I mean, but it's still NFL.
Yeah.
It's still NFL. And every 2023 college football regular season game except for Ohio State and Michigan.
But that's
I'm not a big fan of the Ohio State Michigan game.
They need to take notes from the WNBA game need to take notes from this, because what you said is the product isn't good. We can all agree the product isn't good, but you're not selling basketball.
No.
You're selling entertainment
And the stories.
Storylines, personalities. Last year she did the "You Can't See Me." What's she going to do to this time? Is it black or white?
You're also selling race,
right? And
yes.
you're selling race. It's very important that it's race, because because Angel Reese is a solid college women's player. But she's essentially a rebounder, scoring side. It's nothing flashy to her game. The actual star of their team should be Flage, but Angel Reese looks better on the marquee.
And I haven't seen anybody tackle that. That is, Flage is easily that's their best player.
That's their best without question. And
she's a really good perimeter defender, one of the best in women's college basketball, and then she can score at a really good pace. Angel, as you said, she is a good rebounder, rim protector, but she has no offensive game at all. She's a cleanup person,
right?
And she doesn't control the game defensively wise,
right? And she's not the brightest basketball player.
See, I'm not going to pretend that I know this. I'm not, because I watched the fourth quarter of the game.
Yeah.
That's the point where I tuned in. Angel Reese fouled out before the end of the fourth quarter. I have heard that she doesn't project that well as a WNBA star.
She's a 6'3" center.
Is what I've heard.
Yeah, but that's a part of it is no one cares about how great they play basketball. That's the whole point. So the great thing about the NIL is name and likeness is it made people respect the star again. Because the star is bringing in they're not bringing actual money because they always brought in money, but they bring in money to themselves, so they're able to highlight that they're bringing money to themselves. And if she's bringing the most money in the sport, then she must be a star. That's how we work. That's how it works in a capitalist society. You must be the star because you're bringing in the most money.
And also, I like what you said earlier, because really, when it comes down to it, women's college basketball are selling personalities and selling stories. College basketball. Right. And the WNBA is selling basketball. Right. We're a good basketball product. Watch us.
They get real offended when you suggest that you take steps to lean towards entertainment. When they say, "Hey, you should lower the rims," they be like, "Why would we lower the rims?" Because it's a more entertaining product.
And the women, they stop being sexy when they get to the WNBA. No, seriously. Like Candace Parker she wasn't like Angel Reese as far as the modeling and things like that, but she would have pictures and posters and things like that where you could see her as a sex symbol.
She did the ESPN body.
But you know what I mean?
She did the ESPN body bag.
And what was that? Was that in college or WNBA?
I think it was the WNBA. But yeah, when the athletes pose nude and kind of like.
But she was a wife then. Now she's a husband. So she's gonna be different.
But it ain't just Candace. It's a lot of them. I feel like in college they do a lot of that stuff, and then when they get to WNBA, it's like all basketball. It's all serious.
I think it's gonna translate because back what you're talking about is when, and this is not a joke. The women at that time, majority of them were gay. They were very masculine presenting. Now we're in a new place now where the main stars are very effeminate, very pretty. They have style. They had the one leg.
Okay, who are we talking about besides Angel Reese?
Juju
Juju's
is gorgeous.
Attractive, really?
Hell yeah.
She's cute.
Yeah, Juju
I'd put
is
more cute
beautiful.
than attractive.
I mean, I say cute, but that see, this is the thing. Because it's a woman's sport, we don't have honest conversations like this, but it matters. Like when women talk about men's sports and they actually watch men's sports, they're talking about who's the most attractive one. He looks good.
Yeah, and those are the ones that keep up with.
And even men say like, oh yeah, he can't be a star. He's ugly. I've heard people say that. Oh, he's not a star because he's ugly. But that matters as far as marketing.
So that's why Tyrone Hill was never the best player on the Sixers.
The only reason.
Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell was the third best player on some of his teams. They didn't market him. He wasn't on commercials.
Sam could really hoop.
It's on purpose. Like
That's
so,
funny.
when we pretend like that's not a thing, and we try to make it about
Well, let's move to this because you're making a easy transition into because like after that game, Angel Reese was crying and saying how, and I think you and Pink are in agreement, and I'm against you guys, but she was saying how she had been receiving a lot of death threats and she's been sexualized and a lot of this stuff, and so what did you guys say to that?
I feel like Angel Reese's cachet has been her basketball, but her beauty, and I think in a way her apparent heterosexuality. Mm-hmm. She had a high-profile relationship with a Florida State basketball player, and she was public about that, and that's part of the package of her popularity. If she didn't have all those things going, she's not as big as she is.
right.
And that's just a fact. And so my thing is she embraced this persona. She's profited from this persona. And I'm not saying that she's being super fake to whoever she is as a person. But, at some point she recognized, hey, I can make this work for me.
Right.
And she has. And to me, it's a little, I again, you can say what you want. If you've been subjected to abusive stuff, it's fair to talk about. But to me, you've profited from this persona. You've profited from your kind of confluence of talent and being attractive and being, personable. I just lose a little respect when you're going to now be a little bit of the victim.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that she did something horrible or whatever, but it struck me as, I just wouldn't say that.
Right. I mean, to piggyback off what Pink said, you can't take all the benefits and then shun all of the negative. Just like the old saying goes, you have to take the good with the bad. So if you made money off your name and likeness, you made money off being an attractive woman, because it's fun when she was trash talking and these clips where she's trash talking, how many points you got and all this stuff, and that's all. It's so cute, all the posturing. So when you lose, it's now you're being picked on. You can't say you're the victim when you enjoy being the villain. You just can't.
And I literally recall, I think it was last week, she kind of had some quote or statement to the effect that, I'm okay being the bad girl if it promotes the game.
Exactly.
And it's and a week later, we're changing our tune.
You can't change. So, and then it becomes, now, granted, she was crying because they lost the game. That was a part of it. It wasn't, but you can't say, oh, this is happening. She had the one incident where it was a publication where they the writer said about dirty burlesque, mm-hmm. and I think the writer, I don't want to defend the writer, but I don't think dirty burlesque is actually like a porn category. I think.
Is it?
I think that's the outrage was that. The outrage was he said dirty burlesque and they were saying that he was referring to some dirty like something sexualized when really he was trying to say dirty debutante. He was trying to say like they were like classless pretty girls. Is basically what he was trying to say. But it could be translated to him saying something pornographic. He apologized. That's not okay. Even if he didn't intend it, we can say that was offensive, and you can accept that as offensive. But outside of that, everything else is fair game. If you're making money on your social media and then you're getting negative comments on your social media, that comes with that. It comes with being a social media presence.
Let me sneak in here because I understand that. Yeah, I understand that there are some lanes and avenues where it is expected and it is fair game. When it is basketball, when it is whatever, what she was saying, and also. It's not that she was just offering up like, hey, this is what I've been going through. She's basically just giving you a review because this is her last year. She's going to WNBA. So she's just like explaining what she had to overcome and what she went through throughout on this ride and on this journey. And she's saying how, and I kept it together, even though my teammates know and blah, blah, blah. So she's just giving you a quick synopsis and review of her time in college before she leaves and go to WNBA, right? So it's not that she's complaining or whatever. She was just offering it up. Now, about that is, it is not fair game for her to receive all of this, like, sexist, to be sexualized in that manner on a consistent basis every day. You know what I mean? I don't care how many whatever pictures she posts and things like that. She's not posting porn. You know what I mean?
No, but it matters.
It does not matter because guys, we don't receive that. And guys do post the same. Our athletes post the same exact type of pictures that she does, but they don't receive those type of messages on a consistent basis that she does. They don't receive articles. Our guys don't. We don't get on here and talk about, oh, we misinterpreted. That guy was really trying to say LeBron to look good in the porn, like, oh, but no, he didn't mean that. Like, no, we don't have these type of conversations.
No, but what you're saying is disingenuous because maybe not being sexualized because that's not our place in society. But we are treated. There are male athletes that are treated unfairly by what they look like, where they come from, how they talk.
Okay, and so is she.
Right.
But on top of all of that, she's also been you're just throwing that to the side like well not sexualized but this not
no
we're talking
not
about the sexualized
I'm not throwing it to the side. What I'm saying is the internet is not a real place. So if you decide to make money off being on the internet, then whatever comes with being on the internet comes with being on the internet.
Yeah, but we can't look at that and because it doesn't happen to us, we can't take that and say how she should feel and how she should portray and how she should talk about that subject because it doesn't happen to us. It doesn't happen to guys who are more athletic than us, even though they're posting the exact same type of content. You have one A and one B, one is a male, one is a female. They're posting the same exact thing, but the conversation here is a lot different than the conversation over here. That makes a difference.
No, but like I said, that's a disingenuous argument because they're not talking about a male athlete in her same position in the same notoriety is getting criticism. It may not be sexual criticism, but it's criticism all the same.
But that's what matters. The difference
so
is
you're
what
fixated
matters.
on the sexual.
Yeah, that's what she was fixated on. But that's the point of it all.
But that's because she's choosing to have a gripe a la carte. So if you're posing half naked or showing some skin, and then people, when you show, like, people have detached or disassociated themselves from when you're showing yourself in the bathing suit or you're showing yourself half naked or like covering your private area. They've disassociated that from being sexualized because they're doing it themselves. But you're sexualizing yourself. So people see you and they feel like you're attractive and you're leaning into people saying that I'm attractive, then you're going to be sexualized. That comes with it.
Yeah, we're talking in circles here because I'm saying that guys have the same exact pictures and portraits.
Yeah, but
guys are not sexualized in the same manner that women.
1,000%. So I don't feel like we have the right to tell her how she receives that and how she puts it back out into the media how she feels.
Okay, but here I see what you're saying, but my point to that is, okay, she can feel however she wants. She can say whatever she wants. I can receive her message however I want.
And this is
I'm saying,
that's the whole point.
And that's our disagreement.
It struck a little hypocritical. It struck a little disingenuous when she's profited as much as she has off of that.
Yeah, but the guys do too. Like,
Yeah,
where
but
do you think these Lamborghinis and fucking things are coming from? They're not. You know what I mean? They're not. Like, listen, man. Like, these guys are making more NIL money than these girls. These girls are making good money, but they're making more.
Some of them,
and they're posting naked.
And we live in like men and women live in
two
different realities.
and we can't pretend like we don't, man. We can't.
But you guys are pretending that you don't.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
How
because
so?
you're saying what you're saying is that because whatever goes on social media is open to criticism, and that's for any human being.
Yes.
Right. So you're not differentiating that what the comments that the men are receiving are not the same as the
because it's not going to be the same because we are not the same.
Okay,
so it can be just as damning, just as hurtful. It can be just as out of line and not be sexual. When Deion Sanders' son was showing his watch and he was showing his new car, they painted him as a thug, and the guy has been rich his whole life.
Yeah. They paint an angel as plenty of thugs and goons and bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And
plenty of that stuff.
And some of that is out of line. But she's also benefited from the same social media that she's shunning. She's actually made money off posting on social media. She's also made money being Angel Reese. So with that comes criticism.
You cannot put. I mean, the sexualization it's an interesting dynamic, but you cannot put yourself out in a social media setting or publicly as a public. If once you enter the public domain, you are going to be subject to critique and abuse. That's just the way that is.
And you don't have to participate. But once you opt in, you opt into everything. You can't say, "Hey, I would like to make money off my likeness," but you can't say anything about my likeness.
Yeah.
I
just think it's weird for us to say when it doesn't happen to us at any level of athleticism.
But it does.
It does not.
We're not. But I'm not. I mean, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah.
I'm just simply saying that, like, you've embraced this role, this persona, and now you're kind of changing your tune on it. I just lose a little respect for that. That's all I'm saying.
Because
she's welcome. It's her free will to say whatever she wants.
Right.
But when I'm talking about, like, men and women live in two different universes. Like, nobody's taking us out on a yacht.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's taking us on exotic
or
vacations.
Diddy might.
I'm not going to apologize. One guy is going to take us out on a yacht. One super creepy fucking guy.
No, but that's true,
like,
though, Pink. What you're saying is true.
They live in that, like, a different reality. Like, I mean, we've talked on the show. Like, there was that woman that went, like, a couple months going out to dinner every night with a guy.
Yeah.
And not buying groceries. Yeah. Like, there's certain things about being a woman that are completely different than our reality.
Right.
But part of that is they are, in some way they're monetizing or taking advantage of their sexuality and our reaction or our desire to be connected to.
Right. And that's the whole point is if you are using your sexuality or your just your sex to benefit and profit, then and I buy into it. Unfortunately, the people who buy into it, some of them are creeps, and whatever you sold them, they feel like they have ownership of it. That's the way the internet is. It sucks.
She should start her OnlyFans when she gets to the WNBA.
See, how are you defending her?
I'm changing topics soon, so I want to make sure I get that in because she's not going to make much money in the WNBA. And so she should.
Bubba, how did you make this sharp turn like that?
That was a dramatic turn right there, man.
Sometimes somebody has to be on the side of the ladies here.
I wonder though, because I mean, it begs the question, like, of her NIL money, whatever she's made in the last 2 years, like, how much of that has come from, like, an LSU collective, or how much has been her, pumping her own social media and things of that nature? And again, Because if it's LSU money's obviously gone, you'll get your WNBA money. But if most of her money's been like social media driven and some other sort of commercial endorsements, like those won't necessarily disappear next year. So she might not be in a bad financial position in the WNBA. I don't know. To me, I'm curious about that.
She's most likely made more money in NIL in her college career than she'll make in a WNBA salary for a career.
For salary, yeah.
But
until what is
it
her
changes.
Commercial
But
viability?
it won't change. Nobody's going to watch the WNBA.
We don't believe so, but they're saying Caitlin could be the one to change that.
It won't.
Yeah, but they said that about Diana Taurasi. It didn't work.
No. Believe me, we brought them all up, and they were all uber famous and popular in college.
Because the WNBA is comparing themselves to the NBA, which does them a disservice.
But maybe they wake up.
Here's another thing that I think is lost in a lot of this March Madness. The men's tournament is controlled by CBS. The women's tournament is controlled by ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN is
really pumping
the
it.
900-pound giant.
Yep.
And they are pumping this, and they're promoting it. They're doing a fantastic job about it. But here's the deal. They don't have anywhere near this level of enthusiasm for the WNBA.
I was going to say, because they
product.
have those rights as well.
Yeah.
But they're not going to pump it like this.
It's partly because when you talk to WNBA players, and they're on these platforms now, they got Dee Brown's daughter on Gilbert Arenas' show, and just all over the place where you suggest suggestions for entertainment value, and they are literally visibly offended when you say, "Hey, move the 3-point line in." Lower the rims. They say, why would we do that? Because it's for entertainment.
I don't think any of that shit will make a difference.
But it's worth the try because
it would.
It's hemorrhaging money.
It won't.
Because you'll see women dunking more.
Women dunking is not very good, and they have a handful of dunkers now. It's that's not going to drive. Watching any woman dunk versus what Ann Edwards casually did last night, it's not
right.
Yeah, but I watched full games just to see Brittany Griner dunk one time.
Right.
I watched
Brittany Griner play one time.
Did she dunk in that one time?
I don't even remember.
But the point is, honestly, none of that will work because the product just isn't good. It's just a good product.
There's the significance of the March Madness thing going toe to toe, and the games are staggered. So ESPN has that thing, and they're
I like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Because what we talked about it with Kamar a couple weeks ago was that you're talking about the WNBA in the summer. ESPN's making a business decision that we'll get the same or better rankings out of the Dodgers against the Padres that we will there. Right. You don't have the same impetus and drive and basketball focus that you do now.
Right.
That's different.
And ESPN has they have a genius model because they own the rights to the women's Final Four, and they have sports shows where they can just talk about it in the same. They can talk about LeBron in the first half, and then talk about women's basketball, and it'll look like it's lining up.
And they talk about the men's because even though they don't control the games, they're still doing the highlights and the interviews and all that other stuff with the men's game, this, that, and the other thing. And then bang, they're smacking it. And tomorrow night we've got Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese going at it again.
And the men's game is kind of falling off because the guys are one and done, and they have the G League at night, and people go overseas, so the competition isn't as good. It's just a different game. So this is the perfect storm for women's college basketball. But people are watching it, but they're only watching these 6 teams. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not watching.
Yeah.
Grambling, you know what I mean? No disrespect. They're not watching, like any mid-major team.
Yeah.
They're playing these.
They're not watching Kansas women,
right?
They're not,
just these guys who are Don's team, the LSU team, and Iowa. Caitlin. And then when Caitlin leaves, we won't remember Iowa anymore.
Yeah,
even though they still have. Well, they don't. They only have Caitlin. They have her, and they have some other girl.
They got within the USC girl, and then Kinetic's got a little thing going on because they're making a move.
And they're always going to get a player or two in there,
right? Yeah. And it'll fade because like you said,
It's not going to fade.
The games aren't entertaining. It's the personalities.
Yeah, they're going to keep those coming in,
Right?
And they always have.
But you hope they do.
No, they always have. They
haven't.
I mean, they probably had like you could name a year or two where they kind of slowed down. They keep them.
They've never had
within a 4-year cycle.
But we're talking about a transcendent name that gets outside of the
right,
and that's what we have right now. We had that with Brittany Griner. We had it with Cheryl Swoops. It's not as common as I think, in every couple of years thing. They do have a window here if the Juju chick can keep at the level. Because you have the transition. We have enough eyes on this tournament that maybe enough people saw. They're probably disappointed that they didn't make the Final Four to get that matchup.
Yeah, but they'll never be. You got the whitest white girl on the whitest team in the country, and she's really, really good. So now they're saying, is she the best college woman basketball player of all time? Like, that's the conversation they're having right now.
Yeah. Did that black out on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did on me too.
Yeah.
It did on you too?
No, I think I'm still. Hold on, I think I'm behind though. Yeah, it's black now.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it's back now.
Yeah, it's back.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me make sure the camera changes. But yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And we lost our live audience, but hopefully they'll be back.
Come on back, people.
Yeah.
You start talking. See that it's a conspiracy. You start talking about the women's game and saying it's not good.
We've been silenced.
Yeah, but we're back.
When all in on women's basketball, we've been silenced.
Let's move along here.
The deep state is at work.
Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Alrighty. Let's go here. Let's go to Start a Bench with Coach Pink.
Yeah. It's
been a while. Here. Yeah, it's been a while. Been a little while here. We're going to I'm going to spit out some topics here. You guys can decide whether to start a bench. We got an assistant coach here and Coach Just Play. It's been a while, so I've gotten a new phone and all that good stuff.
Really?
You got an iPhone?
No, I had the opportunity, but I stuck with the Samsung.
Stayed loyal.
It's not even the newest one.
But Bubba truly has turned over a new leaf.
Alrighty here. Let's go.
I don't recognize this guy anymore.
Let's go with Bronny James. Start a bench.
Start him.
So Bronny, reports are saying that Bronny is looking to transfer. Of course, his head coach is leaving. Alrighty. What do you think? Do you believe the hype that Bronny is would be a better NBA player than he is a college player? Do you believe the people who are saying, hey, don't be so harsh on him? There's been many NBA players with his stats and this and that. What's your overall take on it?
I think he has a chance to be a better NBA player than a college player. I don't like the college game. I think it's very overcoached and underplayed. And whenever I saw USC, I mean, he really had like a peripheral role with not much opportunity to do much with the basketball. I don't know. I mean, if that's because he was too timid or whatever, that's on him. And maybe this is all a bad joke. But I do think he does have a chance. I think he is legitimately athletic. And I think he does have an understanding of how to play. But he definitely needs to step up wherever his next location is. I'm curious by the transfer decision though, because like, where does he go? Like, what's the move there? What is he looking to get out of this? Because you're at USC, which basically you're close to your family, which seemed to be like a big motivation, if in his decision making. But when you go to Ohio State, they're not any damn good. Because you're an Ohio guy, or what other program is like really attractive at this point?
One, I think his upside to me is like GP2, like at best to me.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, athletic.
You talking about? But you're talking about Gary Payton's son.
Yeah, the one for the Warriors.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, he's super athletic.
He's
kind of limited in his skill base, but he's found a way to kind of leverage that and be a player of value.
Right, and he's kind of like a tween guard, but he doesn't handle the ball as much. That's just how I see him. But as far as like him entering the portal, I feel like he's still LeBron's son. I mean, he's LeBron James Jr. So I feel like there's a play there that whole team is putting together. I don't think he's just flying. He's not like a normal kid in the portal.
Well, but that's what intrigues me. Like, what is the end goal? What is the destination that they're looking at?
I say UCLA. I don't think he leaves LA.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of lame too because they're not going anywhere fast.
Yeah, but because the LeBron will never admit this, but he put a bullseye on his kid's back when he said he wanted to play with Bronny, and then he doubled down just a few months ago and saying that he's better than some players in the league right now. So now that's how they're measuring him.
Sure.
So there were scouts who were giving him grace and giving him the LeBron nepotism push and saying that he was a lottery pick and all this kind of madness when he never was a lottery pick. But if his last name, if he wasn't LeBron James Jr., I don't even think he gets the USC scholarship. He's somebody who probably should be playing for like a mid-major or a Division II team.
We got to move along here. I let you guys stay way too long on that one, but I agree. All right, wide receiver for the Chiefs, Rashee Rice, started bench.
Start him.
All right, so of course he got into that starting wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Got into a car accident where he was driving a Lambo on the highway, and he caused a 4 or 5 car accident on the highway. Got out of the car. The car he was racing, I guess a friend or something. They both exited their cars and left and fled the scene. Okay. All right, but the Lamborghini that he had, or whatever the car was in his name. So the police tracked him down, all of that good stuff. And he's now cooperating and said that he takes full responsibility, and whatever happens to him, he's going to take it on the chin. What do you think about that? And the people are saying that maybe he was, either drunk or high, and maybe had drugs on him, so it was kind of.
Well, that's the classic move. If you're drunk or high, you leave the scene so you don't actually get caught doing that. You take a few hours to sober up or let your high go down, and then you cooperate. So, I mean, it's pretty much the drunk guy playbook right there in full execution. So I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just really stupid decision making. Why? Why do you have to be racing on a road with a guy? Why do you put yourself in this position when you have so much to lose? And this is a guy that if this goes south, I mean, if somebody got killed, he's Henry Ruggs and he's going to jail and the career's over. Yeah. And it's that fine a margin. And so why put yourself in this position? It just doesn't make sense.
And you didn't play good enough last year to do this kind of stuff. Like, let's be honest. Like, you can't.
Who played well enough last year that they could?
Patrick Mahomes. Like this would be swept under the rug. We would never have heard about this if this was Patrick Mahomes.
Tyreek Hill, did he play well enough?
Tyreek Hill had 2 babies on the same day. Nobody even talked about it.
During a season in which he got married.
Yeah. See, married to somebody else that didn't have babies.
Oh, wow.
Let's go with Chance the Rapper, started bench.
I haven't heard from him in a while. What's going on with Chance the Rapper?
This kind of hit home for me.
Did it?
So Chance the Rapper. No, I'm gonna tell you why.
I hope so.
They were married or just a relationship?
No, they were married. He made a whole album about being married.
Yeah. So he was married to this lady here, and they
this lady here,
and they getting a divorce. But what's interesting is, so a few months back or whatever, he was at the Jamaica Carnival. And he was dancing with a girl, and it was, and that carnival and soca music, and reggae and soca. You
can't help yourself.
The dancing gets kind of personal and close,
intimate,
and sexy and intimate.
All right.
And he got caught on camera with the dancing with this lady, and they're saying that
that's why the whole thing unraveled.
Maybe.
Okay.
They said she didn't take too fondly of it, even though she's a part of the culture, which is weird, but.
No, you can't dance like that. You married, man. There's no way to defend that.
He should have just gone to Dominican Republic with you.
Yeah. That was a bad look, man.
It's hard to imagine that was the only issue, though.
Yeah.
I just
has to be something else.
It is what it is.
But the man loved his wife. He's got all he read about his wife. He loved his wife.
I said during the intro, all these sentiments are temporary.
That's true.
They just are. You could be deeply in love with somebody, and it fades like a cheap T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, man. We're not built for this.
I guess.
You seem sad in there, Bubba.
Yeah, man, because I'm not going to stop going to carnivals.
You're not married.
You're not married,
Oh,
man.
what about when I do get married?
Just don't.
Yeah.
Hey, what do we say about Rashay Rice? Don't put yourself in that position.
You gotta choose. You gotta
Don't
choose.
drive your Lambo drunk. Don't get married.
You gotta
Come
choose.
Lastly here, because we already talked about Reese there. Lastly here, we have. Oh no, we got two more. LeBron started bench. If you guys want to talk about it,
Yes, go ahead. What's going on with him?
he says he has 1 or 2 years left in him.
You know, I've been watching Mind the Game podcast, and the more I listen to that, the more I feel that this is part of his retirement.
Yeah.
That he kind of had like some thoughts while he's still active that he almost literally wants to get out, and he wants to get him out while he's still in this position and not wait until he's done. Yeah. And it just has that feel. Like he's a little reminiscent. He says a lot of things about like our game, but he also says them in a manner that he's kind of talking about stuff he doesn't really like about the game that other guys are doing. And it feels like, I don't know if testimonial is the right word, but it feels like it has a, I got to say this before I go.
Yeah. I think, speaking of mind the game, LeBron is really good at understanding narrative, and so with that show, he kind of molds the narrative so that it works in his favor. So when he walks away, so he was talking about having a bag. So instead of him saying like, "Yo, I do have a bag," he just denounced the notion of having a bag, because that helps the narrative of him not having one. He said that's stupid. Right. Everybody has a bag is stupid. So he's good at molding the narrative to mean what he wants it to mean at the time it means that, because he is deep and ingratiated in the social media era where Michael Jordan didn't have to really deal with, Kobe didn't really have to deal with. So he understands that I can make this GOAT debate mine based on how I shift the narratives.
And why do this while you're still playing is critically important. When you're saying that I don't, I have a bad guys or whatever, and you're still dropping 25 a night against those same guys,
right?
It resonates differently than if you're a year removed. You're JJ.
Right.
You're 2-3 years removed from the game, and now you're kind of commenting, "Oh, back when I played." No, I'm still doing this. I played the Clippers last night, or this or that, and I'm saying this right now when it matters.
Right.
So yeah, and it is a masterful stroke of controlling a narrative, of giving a narrative that he wants out there.
It's the anti-hot take. That's what it is. It's the anti-hot take, because he understands that most casual listeners and fans take hot takes about basketball as like the gospel.
Yeah.
All right, lastly here, what we're going to do is we're going to sexualize some women's college basketball players.
Bubba, man. Your hypocrisy.
Yeah, your
hypocrisy is almost unbearable.
It's crazy how you.
Wow.
But she's a woman and she deserves.
Nobody's ever said to a guy they want to fuck him.
What about her?
I know I haven't.
She should get an OnlyFans. What? How did that?
Exactly.
You don't have to have sex on OnlyFans. I subscribe to many who don't have. No, I'm just kidding.
No, dude. We finally figured out where the money comes from. Follow the money. It came up in Bubba's Bank of America account. Or are you a Banco Popular guy?
We're gonna put you guys in a precarious position here of a smash, marry, kill.
All right.
For Juju, Caitlin, and Reese here.
Oh, that's easy.
What do you got, Black?
I think I definitely. It feels weird because I'm too old to smash and marry any of these women. But let's just say I was 25.
He starts out, "This is easy,"
yeah.
And then stammers around with a couple.
I mean, because I would easily kill Caitlin. That's for Umar. But,
that's for Umar. Shout out to Doc.
But I smashed Juju. No, I smashed I have to draw a blank. What's her name?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, and then I married Juju. She feels innocent.
At least for now.
Yeah.
You could mold her in the ways that you want her.
Nah, that sounds hideous. You can't mold.
I'm sorry, you could groom her.
And Caitlin, she looks like a boy. So, and she's white. So that's that. There's that. So.
I agree with everything that Black said. Right down to the last comment. I stand united with Black on many levels.
I'm marrying Reese, man.
Are you?
Yeah, she's becoming.
Bubba wants that share of the NIL money.
She's becoming my baby, man.
No wonder why he was so passionate in defending her.
She's a woman.
You just didn't want people saying bad stuff about your future wife.
It's not fair.
She's taking Gabrielle's spot.
Just picture, Bubba, you're going to have to be there and listen to these tearful rants about injustice.
I never listened.
You'll have to for her.
Listen,
if you want to get out of that prenup.
The hat is out the bag. I never listened.
The hat is out the bag. That's not how that saying goes.
How does it go?
The cat's out of the bag. Why would the hat be out the bag?
It ain't getting out on its own. I mean, the cat can hop out of the bag.
I thought really that's how it went. The hat is out of the bag.
That's not.
You guys sure, man?
100%. Once again, I'm united with you.
That's 2 weeks in a row. I got a saying wrong, man.
What'd you do last week?
You remember last week when when he notated, he was like, "That's the wrong saying." What did I say? I said something about I'll think about it. But
that's funny, man.
Yeah. All right. Let me play a quick commercial here, man. Then we'll be right back. Alrighty, here we have on April 20th event that you just have to go to and see. Alrighty, the real NBA is coming to the Smith Center right in the heart of Orlando. Nothing but ass game. Team Stallion versus Team Amber Lewinsky. Okay, I've actually went to visit her at her place of work a couple of times, and I'm just gonna tell you. You got to see this in action. All right? This is something you got to see live.
Are you going to mention her place at work?
You got to see this live and up front. All right, it's not something you're going to want to miss. Okay, and on top of that, I'm going to tell you something here. On the Biz Podcast, we have free tickets available that we're going to be giving out. So you want to make sure that you're in the mix, all right, to get those free tickets. We're going to let you know how and all of that good stuff. But just remember, April 20th, all the information is on the screen to look up the tickets. They are on Eventbrite right now. All righty, nothing but ass. You just got to be there. Got to see it to believe it. All right. All righty. Yes, the NBA Nothing But Ass game coming up April 20th. You just get us some subscribers, man. 10 subscribers to the show gets you a free ticket. I mean, you just can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that with a stick. Takes less than 5 seconds to do. All righty here, and we already have some people that are they're getting close.
They're bringing some subscribers. I like it.
Yeah, they're updating me every other day.
Got a new subscriber.
Getting ready for those tickets. I might even have to buy some extra tickets just to
follow through it.
Just to follow through. Let's go here. We got about two to three, I think, more things here. You sent me this, I think, on Instagram or something, or we saw this something, and it was what is the ideal age to move out of your parents' house? You got any idea on this, Black? What's the ideal age to move out of your parents' house?
Man, to me, I feel like the black community got a fucked up idea of what it means for your child to be able to lunch, so we kick him out at 18 or have him paying bills.
I was gonna say 17.9.
Yeah, like stupid shit like that. But I had a friend. I used to work with this kid. He was Jewish, and he didn't move out. He didn't move out of his parents, so he was going to school to be a teacher. So he was working at the same place. He worked there for like 10 years. So he had a 401k. He had a nice little 401k, and he was like fully vested in the company. And so when he got it, when he finally graduated college and went into his career, he took that money and he put it on a down payment on a house. This is back when houses were a lot cheaper than they are now. And so basically, long story short, he didn't move out to his parents' house until he was able to buy a house. And he was set in his career, and he had money, and I think the best time for your kids to launch is when they're ready to launch. And so that could be 21, it could be 24, it could be 25, 27. As long as they are in the pursuit of launching, even if it's like just figuring out what they want to do. So I think it's no real age, but it's more like when your kid's ready. As long as the plan is for them to eventually be ready.
I tend to agree. I don't think it's an issue where you have a specific age and I'm not big on kicking kids out when they're 18 and whatever. I just don't think that you're giving them a great chance for success. But it's got to be. It's more of like a situation in life when I think you have some sort of path that you're on that you're going to be committed to, and you feel like you need to do that. You'd hope that there's a little bit of patience for so you go out with some resources, because the thing I don't want is they go out with no damn resources and I keep being a resource.
Right, you got to keep hitting.
You keep being the resource.
It's cheaper for me to stay at the damn house than it is for me to stay at the house and pay for your house over there or your apartment. Like that doesn't work. That's not good. So yeah, when you've got that thing. Now I will say this: my kids are older. Some are at the house, some aren't at the house. As far as the one that's not at the house, like he wanted that freedom.
Right.
It wasn't like he had any rules at the house or anything, but he wanted that for himself, and he's really kind of been like fiercely financially independent since. And it's again, he hasn't he's frugal. He's learned a lot because he's put himself in that position. And I wasn't happy when he went because I felt he was kind of doing it for the wrong reasons. Because I was like, bro, you don't have any rules here. Like, what are you worried about? But he felt like he needed to do it, and it was the right thing for him. So for him, it was right. Some of the other ones, they ain't there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna ever push him out the door. To hey, you got to go do this. Because if you're not ready, I don't want it to be a disaster.
You know what? You know why the black families are like that, right? I'm not going to put everybody in the same boat.
Why you think it is?
But I think 80%. I think 80% of it is when you have. So a lot of them have kids when they're younger. Teenage years, like whatever, it's from 16 to say 20. Right, they start having the kids, so they weren't really able to fully have their party stage or enjoy their life, and this is in their mindset, and so by the time their kids do become adults, they're still young enough to go and still have their. So as soon as they turn 18, what that means, the parents are early 40s, still able.
Could still be in the upper 30s.
It still could be in the upper 30s. And they're ready to go and just hang out and get loose. And they don't understand that your child's fully independent, even though they stay at the house. You can still sort of do that if you wanted to. Yeah. But they want to just go all out and do it.
That's what I'm saying. Because the only reason I don't think that's it.
But you do encounter some of that. You've seen some of that.
Yeah, I won't say that that's not it because it's all just conversation.
Yeah.
But I think that, especially like in our society, in our community, parents have this like possessive thing about them where they want to control that child's life even when they entered into adulthood. They want to control their decisions. They want to control their religious beliefs. They want to control when you come home, so they want you to pay half the mortgage or half the rent or half the bills when you turn 18. Like just unrealistic and like debilitating things that they think is a part of being an adult when really it's just kind of like it's really debilitating, really. And so like you better don't come to my house after 12, but I'm an adult.
But couldn't you control more if they stayed in the house?
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah, but
no, I was going to ask you though, that control that you're talking about, do you think that pushes the young people to leave because they just want to get away from that level?
That's
of
exactly
control?
what it does. That's exactly what it does. It basically you make them uncomfortable, so they leave. Because and you would think that because it is a control thing, they feel like that leverage they have is that you have somewhere to live, so then they can control you. I seen like this thing on social media on Facebook about this lady who kicked her son out because he I guess he fell on hard times and he moved back in with her and her husband, his dad and his mom. And she said, okay, to live with me, you have to go to church every Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then people were like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, really, it doesn't. Why do I have to go to church with you? And you say, well, the Lord, because obviously you can't handle your money or pay bills. You're not responsible. You need to be in church. What does church have to do with any of that?
I understand, but I do agree with them.
You agree with them?
Yeah, I do.
You agree with who?
I agree with the parents.
You got to go to church.
Whatever it is, whatever it is. If it's a reasonable request and if it's a reasonable house rule, I agree with it. Like you're coming back to live in the house, and these are the rules of the house.
That's a part of the problem, though. Because
why is it a problem?
Because I'm an adult. Now, in that case, he wasn't working, so the argument could be that you ain't paying for nothing. I mean, which is the reason why that's not reasonable is because you're forcing somebody to do something because you have the leverage or the power.
So I feel I understand if you have rules of the house. Like if you're gonna live here, whatever, take out the trash, wash your like things that like literally make the house operate okay.
Right.
But the church thing is outside of that for me.
It's crazy.
And it just doesn't make any sense. It's like I got to an age when I was young, I had to go to church with my mom. And then I reached the age where it's like I ain't going anymore. And in fact, I don't believe in any of this shit.
Right.
And so
in fact,
yeah,
right.
And that's what I got. Now once that cat is out of the bag, it doesn't go back in. Like I can't be like, oh yeah, this is interesting. You have to. It's just not like forcing somebody to do something that like impacts them intellectually or maybe stifles them intellectually is wrong.
Right.
Like basic responsibilities
based on what you believe too. Like it's because it's your belief.
Yeah.
If you say I got to make sure that the trash can is out on Wednesday before the dump truck comes on Thursday morning, that's understandable. If you say
no, my fault. Go ahead, continue.
But if it's something that's related to your belief system, and you're saying that I have to engage in that in any way, that's kind of like a slap in the face, especially if you're somebody who love me and care about me, and you saying I gotta go to church or I can't live here. So in order to not be homeless, I have to engage in your belief system.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Which is crazy.
I might as well go meet somebody believing Diddy's beliefs.
Right. Because
what's stopping you? I mean, you're homeless. You're an adult and you're homeless, and these are my house rules. And because this is the thing, religion. If you're a part of religion, you understand that it's more than a belief to them. This is concrete.
Yeah,
like this is.
And that's why we have a lot of strain.
That's
why we.
It's not my belief
but
or anything. It is what it is.
But for a belief, like if you actually care about the other person,
right,
and they have to arrive at that belief on their own, or it's not going to matter.
In their minds, they care so much for this person. They want to save this person eternal life.
And that's the problem with all of the Christian crusades and all the other bullshit. This notion of saving, it is a cancer.
Right.
It is a cancer on the face of humanity.
Believe me, man.
But we can't applaud that.
I'm not applauding it.
But you're kind of favoring.
I am.
And I'm saying
only
that's
because
wrong.
of the house rules.
Yeah, but that's
that ain't house.
It could be whatever.
Is the church in the house?
Yeah, but because that's a part of it is
an argument that it should be. It can be.
A part of it is
if it is
when these are my rules in my house is a fucked up thing to do to somebody who you care about who needs somewhere to live. As long as they're not destroying your house.
Yeah.
But if it's like you have on Sundays we pray. No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I need somewhere to live. And so if you decide that I can't live here because I'm not going to live how you want me to live, then I probably will never see you again.
And that's the thing. I think when you impose stuff on people, you force harder lines and harder reactions, and you could really lose some relationships over stuff like that. You know?
Yeah. No, you really can. You really can. Religion is just one of those. It's one of those topics, man. But one thing I've learned,
it's a cancer.
I became, the older I get, the more I understand. Like, these people really they immerse themselves into it, so they don't have the ability to discern what we're conversing about. They don't have that because in their mind this is concrete. This is what it is, and if you're not a part of this belief system, you're going to hell. And I love you so much, I don't want you to go to hell. So this is my house. This is our house rules, and as long as I have you in this house and I want you in this house, then I know that we're all safe from the devil. But you know what I mean? See, I understand. I know that's how.
No, the great thing about us now is we can look at that objectively and say that's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
And we don't have to rationalize. We're not like, well, that's what they believe. I can say that's stupid, and I unsubscribe to that.
I think I'm really big on calling stuff stupid that it deserves to be called stupid. Yeah. If we don't challenge these things or look at other perspectives and you just blindly believe, that's Nazism, that's fascism, that's so many negative things that have happened, in humanity, in the history of the world. And you have to look at these things and say, hey, why the hell are we going to church? What are we getting out of it? And there are people that have a nice balance in their life. That ain't me. But church has a place. It gives them something that allows them to function more productively in the other aspects of their life. But you can't force or impose that on a person without there being a real cost.
Right. Because at some point you have to. Okay, I have to look at you. I have to look at your parents. I have to look at your parents. Don't nobody own nothing. Why? Because they made you leave at 18. So you weren't ready to have roots.
Yeah.
You wasn't ready to lay down roots. You weren't ready to fly. So you had to figure it out. So you spent 11 of those years after 18 trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's because you have some kind of bullshit belief, and respectfully anybody's beliefs, but you have these beliefs that are not even rooted in anything. It's rooted in just passed down indoctrination. This stuff not even in the Bible. You talking about? Jesus wasn't kicked out when he was 18. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is stuff that somebody made up, and then you carried it on. I've never read a text where they say Jesus, if the street lights come on, he wasn't in the house, don't come home. Mary never said that in no books. But we hold on to these things.
The face of Jesus never shone under a street light.
No, I'm with you on that.
But I think you mentioned something though. I mean, as far as wealth and amassing assets and finances, to me, it's got to flow forward.
Right.
And too many times, and I'm not black, but I say this, and too many times from my experience and knowing people, it's flowing backward.
Right.
There's this thing where it's like, oh, I got to help this out, I got to help this other person, I got to help whatever, and it's like sometimes you're literally throwing good money after bad, and it does not allow things to move forward and pass things forward to people, and it's really, really unfortunate. And I know that there's a lot of bullshit reasons that black people are in financial situations that they're in that doesn't have things to do with them, that has to do with institutional racism, and I'm not excusing that or pretending it's not there, but there is this part of this where things are flowing backwards
there are other
instead
factors.
of forward.
Well. Yeah.
So because there's absolutely, that's the thing, there's absolutely history that has made us so systemic in this way, as far as how we look at finance, how we look at family. Yes, but now we know better. Now we can look at our mom and say, that's stupid what you're doing, and that's counterproductive to what we're trying to do. Yeah. So if we're not going to have those conversations, then we can't keep saying systemic racism. Because yes, that happened, and that did affect us, and it's still affecting us. But also, kicking your kid out at 18 is affecting generational wealth. Him making them go to church when they ventured out and had different understandings about religion and life, and you not embracing that, and so they're stuck in the same box you're in. That affects progress. And if we're not going to be honest and we're not going to say that affects progress, then we're going to remain stagnant. And if we remain stagnant, then we can't say, what about systemic racism? Because we deciding to be there now. We decided to remain here.
Yeah. No, that's real.
My kids ain't leaving the house when they 18, when they 19, when they 20. They gonna leave the house when they say, Dad, let's go look at these houses that I'm looking to buy. And they're not, and I'm not gonna need them to foot my mortgage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he said, flowing forward. I don't need you to take care of me. I'm here to take care of you. Until you can take care of yourself and then take care of your family, and then it goes forward.
Now the second can move forward. No, I'm with that. All right, here. Really quick here, giving a quick shout out to one of our sponsors here, Royal13thebrand.com. Again, that is Royal13thebrand.com. Use promo code BubbaPink and be fresh here in the spring, headed into the summer. It's gonna be a hot summer, man.
For real? No.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot. It's always a hot summer, but I think this summer's gonna be a little hotter.
It's been an uneven spring.
It's definitely been an uneven spring.
Starts to warm up, and then all of a sudden
get cold and
chilly mornings.
Yeah,
rainy, all of that stuff. I want to do this here. My top 5 shows I'm currently watching right now.
Oh damn!
And
should have took the under.
Should have took the under. Should have took the under on shows that Pink may have heard about yet here. And again, I aspire to write and produce a TV show here. So I watch TV shows of every genre. I love them all. It just needs good writing, good acting, all of that good stuff. All right. So coming in at number 5, I know we're coming off of religion, but Testament of Moses. Now listen, one thing I find interesting is when something has been done 1,000 times, if you can do it and still make it interesting to watch, you're doing something. And this is a very, very well produced show from the way it looks and all of that good stuff. If you know,
what is the format? Is it like a limited series or?
It looks like it's going to be a series that can move forward.
Really?
That's the way it's set up for right now.
What's the name of it?
The Testament of Moses.
It's right there, man.
No. I mean, as you get older, your eyes.
Yeah, I ain't got my glasses. I do got glasses in the car.
I'm not mad at that at all. I'm the same way. All right, I'll get in the same way. All right, so you got that coming in at number 5. All right,
you know what's going to be the best part is if they go like multiple seasons and they kind of run out of actual Moses material and just have to make some shit up. I didn't know that about Moses.
But a lot of times, really quick here, these the religious series they kind of stop after the first season for whatever reason.
No, I was envisioning like a limited series, like here we want to tell this particular story or this perspective, and then whatever it is.
But it's not because of the story falls off. It's because people really complain and things like that.
Oh really?
It's weird. Yeah, I was watching this super dope show on Jesus. I know it's because I forget the name, but it's still on Netflix. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. Period. And
last super dope show I saw on Jesus was.
No, you would enjoy this. Seriously. Seriously, you would enjoy it.
Really?
It was that good.
Black Jesus is the only one I like.
That was hilarious.
I like He Got Game.
All right, man. Moving on, man. Before we get kicked off this place, they complain about us. They're like
that was a totally legitimate comment.
They're like the LGBTQ, man. They'll get you kicked off some stuff, man.
Oh, they were. They the original LGBTQ.
They're the original. Number 4, I have The Tourist. The Tourist, they're on season 2 now. The first season was really good because it was a unique storyline. You got this guy who in the very first episode, he gets into a bad accident, loses his memory and all of that stuff, but he turns out to be this this, whatever, this guy who has done a lot of stuff in his past, and he's figuring it out as he goes and things like that.
Like what sort of stuff in his past? Like he's like a
action,
guy?
killing people, stealing stuff, might be a part of this huge mob type thing that's not a mob, but just for lack of better terms.
Criminal organization.
Yeah, criminal organization and stuff like that that's ran by his mom and stuff like that. So
to be fair, I tried to watch a part of that and it just didn't hit.
What channel was that on?
That's
Netflix,
on Netflix
right?
as well right now. And I found season 1 to be very good. Season 2 is just bad.
I don't watch none of that shit on Netflix. I just watch only black shows.
Only black shows?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting to some black shows. All right. At number 3 here, I'm going to go to Abbott, which is it's a black show. Okay, but it's not on Netflix.
Yeah, that's number one. That's number one for
It's
me.
not on Netflix. But Abbott Elementary is a comedy. It's a light fun show. I usually watch it, I'm lighting up, whatever, when I'm getting ready to light up, which is once in a while, once a week or so. And Abbott Elementary is a fun, funny show. I like it, really like it, because the star girl, she blew up off of one of those, off of...
He got money.
Yeah. Off of a skit, online, and she blew up, and now she's producing and starring in her own television show. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I haven't started watching season 2 yet.
Yeah, and that's what we're on here, and it's good. It's solid. It hasn't fell off at all. It's solid. I like the storyline that they're going to. So that's Abbott Elementary coming in at number 3. At number 2, I'm going to go to BMF here. Okay, BMF is on its new season. Normally it would come in at number 1 because the first 2 seasons were or first season, whatever we're on now, whatever, it was awesome, 5 stars. But now in this new season, it has fallen off. I don't know if some writers passed away or we had that big writers block that was
Strike.
strike.
That's probably what it was.
Maybe some didn't make it out of that, man. Some starved.
Drift out to other things.
And 2 Chainz is just the worst actor of all time. I mean, he's really bad.
Is he new in this season?
He's new in this season, and because this season is when they're coming from Detroit to Atlanta, so I understand what they're doing. Okay, let's get some Atlanta hip hop stars, and we're also transitioning Meech from this drug to his hip hop, because BMF had this, hip hop organization. So I see the transition. I see where the writers are going, even though we're not there yet. And so they're putting some rappers in it, but they just have to be able to do something, man. And 2 Chainz was just god awful.
Is it mainly like the bad acting by 2 Chainz, or are there other things that?
There's other factors that's making it.
What do you like? What do you like? If season 1
the
to
fall
2,
off.
like what? Yeah, what do you attribute the fall off to?
I attribute the fall off to number 1, they added this lady who was just not a part of the BMF storyline at all. I don't even know why they had to make her. It's this
you know why they had to make
because she's gay and she's black and she's
you gotta
add that in.
You gotta have somebody on there. That's the way we at. That's where we at now.
Yeah, that's where you got to add somebody from the LGBT community.
Got to meet the quota.
She's just not
random,
a part of this. She's just random as hell.
Randomly gay.
It's just random, and it's weird, and she's an okay actress or whatever, but it's just not needed. It's just
Are
not
they
needed.
force feeding her into these?
Yes.
Yeah,
storylines?
they force feeding random sex scenes where she got a strap on and just madness for no reason.
Yeah,
For no reason.
All right, but still, it's it's a good show for what it is. So I do have BMF at number 2. I'm just hoping. That's just with hope that the season gets better. It's like one of your best players having an off season, but they were like superstars in the years prior. You're just hoping they get round back to form,
Or you're just watching Jordan Poole play.
There you go. Number 1 is 3 Body Problem. I'm a huge sci-fi guy. Pink is not. This is a sci-fi show. And it's just the best sci-fi show out right now. And it is really good. It's just the way it's written and produced, and I love the storyline. And
what is the premise? 3 Body Problem. That kind of begs an explanation.
So basically, it's how should I say it? It involves aliens and really, and I haven't finished it yet, right? So I'm still going, but basically, it's about these. I don't know if it was China or India, where they started talking to people from from outer space, okay, and so they are she was contacting them to come and save Earth because Earth was having a problem or whatever. That's the 3-body problem thing, to where we wasn't going to survive. So then now they're gonna come and take over and kill us or whatever. So now they're mad at the lady for contacting them.
So Earth was under distress.
Yeah.
They reached out to another life form in outer space who they invited to save them.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do the save. They're going to come in and kick everybody's ass.
There you go.
I didn't even watch the show.
But there's more to go. I haven't finished yet. So, okay. All right. That's my top 5 shows there. Check them out. I'm sure you'll have a good time.
Really?
Let's end the show with some NBA talk, man.
What do you got? You're like the biggest Luka fanboy.
Yeah.
On the planet right now.
Luka is my Kodak Black now. I've fully transitioned, and Luka Doncic.
Transition, you hear that?
Yeah, that's my guy. I'm a huge 76ers fan. That's my team. But outside of that, it's all Luka. He's my, I was LeBron. It was 76ers and LeBron. Now I'm 76ers and Luka. He's fully into that. And the Mavericks.
We see a day where you're just a Luka Mavs guy, and the Sixers are just clearly kind of just an
No,
afterthought.
absolutely not. No, I'm too entrenched.
Ride or die.
Yeah,
all right.
I bleed red and blue.
And I'll bleed red. Blue. It makes you a little unique, I suppose.
Red, white, and blue. We're America. We're America's team. There you go.
There you
76ers are red, white, and blue. But anyway.
Hey, the 76ers name, the independence from
there
the
you
British. Ben Franklin.
Embiid came back last night. Looked okay, just out of shape, super out of shape. And what they're trying to do is say, hey, with Embiid back, they could maybe challenge. And then they got the Western Conference team. We're headed for a Boston-Denver championship.
Yeah,
and it just is what it is.
Why gamble with Embiid like that? Because there's nothing good can come from it.
Yes, it can. No, I'm fully with him playing.
For what?
If you're able to play, God damn it.
Yeah, if you're able to
Otherwise, just fucking retire. This is bullshit.
It's the end of the season. Who
cares? You're in the playoffs.
He's out of shape. You can't win this year.
Yeah, but we can get past the second round.
Yeah, but he could also get hurt and then miss next year or the start of next year.
And he could also get hit by a fucking truck on the way to practice and die.
I'm all for it.
He could get a venereal disease. Let's just play ball.
Well, he's married and faithful, I heard, so I don't know.
She could bring one back. Who said she's
1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%.
That's
probably having a little dalliance with Ben Simmons.
Damn. That'd be
treacherous, right?
Yeah, that'd be
that's fighting words.
Crazy change of events.
Yeah, but I'm all for him playing. But
baby, just tell me it isn't Ben.
Anybody but Ben. Please let it be Drake. Please let it be Drake.
It could be Doc fucking Rivers and one of his tranny friends.
That'd be sad because he's an ugly crier too. So that'd be.
That's right.
Joel.
Maybe it's Kawhi.
Back on track, man.
He's made me cry twice.
Boston and Denver just are the strongest teams. Now, the cracks in the armor are Boston is not a good clutch team. They seem to lose these random ass games against wherever they had back-to-back losses against Atlanta. They just lost against Washington, and it's what are you doing there? And they're a bottom 10 team in clutch fourth quarter. And a lot of that is because the ball is Jason Tatum and Jason Tatum is not a closer at all.
Yeah, I don't think you can't win a championship with Jason Tatum your best player. I just don't believe you can.
So you're there as well?
Yeah. I mean, because
I'm there.
When they played, they were a better team than Golden State.
Yeah,
it's just they can't do it.
Yeah. And on Denver's side, Jamal Murray's health. Murray is a very important piece. Yes, Jokic is the best player in the league. I have to give it to him. I fought it for a little while, just like I fought it with Giannis. But now it just is what it is. But they are a different team without Murray. The on and off splits are astounding.
Yeah.
And he's his health is going to be huge. So if he's not there, I think they can and will lose in one of these playoff series if he misses time.
Yeah, his creating shot making ability is unique in that system. And that's where he really complements Jokic. The rest of the guys are all kind of like feed off of secondary guys. Aaron Gordon like around the baseline in the basket, and MPJ really kind of catch and shoot for the most part. But they need Murray's creativity and shot making to be elite.
Can your Lakers do anything?
You're a Lakers guy?
I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but
They do now.
gotta keep it to myself. But this year reminds me of 2022 when Golden State won. If Murray goes down, the West is wide open. The West is wide open because there's no other teams except for Golden State and Los Angeles Lakers who have that guy who can just take over 2 series and actually and just like surprise people, to me. But so if somehow Murray goes down and it's just Jokic could be beat. And I think Boston is fool's gold, even though they stacked, but they're 2 top guys. I don't trust them.
The problem is the East is so weak; they're probably just going to run through it.
Yeah, but
nobody in the East is really like on a roll other than like Milwaukee keeps dropping games almost like
they drop random. Yeah,
almost like you were saying with the Celtics. It's just odd
the
games.
same way.
They'll be up 15 and you look back and they've lost the game.
They're the same way.
The East is so fluky.
But they're worse. They're a lesser team.
Yeah, but it's like because Miami Heat can come and knock off the Celtics and it just be random like that.
Yeah.
And so and then so you don't, it's like I said, if more Murray, if Murray goes down, then it's wide open for everybody because Denver isn't like head and shoulders above everybody with just Jokic. And Boston appears to be headed, but they like 10 games over everybody. But in the playoffs, they become a different team. They're good enough to win, to get to the finals. They just don't have that guy when the chips are down, and you need to give him. He needs the ball, and he's not going to turn it over. He's going to get you a bucket, or he's going to get somebody a bucket. They don't have that guy. They don't have the guy who makes the right decisions down the stretch. Maybe Drew Holiday, but we'll see how they play in the playoffs. Will they let Drew Holiday maestro the team when the game's on the line?
That's who I want in the first. No, I'm sorry. I want Milwaukee in the first round. I don't want Boston. So Philly is going to have to fuck around in this play-in thing, and most likely we're going to have to play Miami, and the loser of that is going to get the 8th seed. And
you got to play the 9-10 winner. You would have to play the 9-10 winner.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So that's the game that's going to determine the 7-8 seed. I'm just predicting here is the Miami Philly game, and I think Philly. I need Philly to win so we can face Milwaukee in a 2-7, and I think we can. I think
Philly
we can and will.
Not with Embiid not 100% healthy. You're not gonna beat Milwaukee.
I just don't. I don't trust Milwaukee at all, man.
I'd bet you anything that they won't beat Milwaukee.
Bet
not with Doc Rivers and Dame Lillard.
He said bet him anything. Think about that. The possibility.
I'm not a Giannis. I'm sorry. I'm not a Dame Lillard and Doc Rivers. I understand it's the first round and Embiid is hurt and all of that. I understand, and they could beat us.
It's not really Dame. It's Doc. Doc is just not a good coach.
He's just not. Man.
He's ruining Dame because he's not.
No. Don't let Dame off the hook.
Dame's what he is.
Yeah, don't let Dame off the hook.
He's not the answer.
Doc is a bigger issue. He's a bigger problem.
Yeah, but he's not even. It'd be smart. It'd be smart for Doc to let Dame run the sets he ran in Portland. For some reason, they don't do that. They don't do a lot of pick and roll. They play weird. If you got Dame and Giannis, I'd just pick and roll like it was 94. To me,
94, big year for the pick and roll.
the problem with that is Giannis is not like 100% comfortable with just doing that over. He's your star.
Yeah,
and the center is centered around him since he's become this star. What we talking about now? 6-7 years.
Yeah,
he's been the orbit. He's been the orbit of their offense, and so it's nice to do some of that, and they probably should do more. But he wants the ball in his hands, and he needs to go off the dribble, and he needs to, you know what I mean. So that's a part of the thing too, and then also you got Dame that can stretch the floor, but we'll see how that goes. Just wanted to touch on that, man. All right, Just Black. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Always love.
Yeah, man. Always. We'll catch you guys next week on the bench.